Okay, we're back with another 64-player vintage cube draft. As I mentioned before, it's single elimination, so one loss and I'm out, which also means one loss and the video is over. So let's hope for a long one. I'm going to start this draft with drafting Fury over Counterspell. Fury is good in any deck that can cast it, really, and if you have a relatively high number of red cards, it can just become an absurd card. So it ranges from good to great, I would say. Counterspell, you never go wrong with that card. I'm quickly going to scan the pack here because I've started to like aggro a lot. So if red makes sense, we can wield a rapid battery, but I mean, that's not really the concern right now. First pick Fury, it's decent. What about the next pack? Okay, so this I have to think about, because we have cards like Natural Order. Natural Order is like the highest power level here, but Natural Order Fury is kind of hard to make work. Am I crazy for considering the Soul Scar Mage? That's what I want to know. The thing is, when you're trying to draft aggro, you need to find the right spot to like go for it, right? You don't want to just first pick a random red card over like a great card. Then it's like, yeah, exactly. That's like forcing it, which is not great. But here I think it could make sense. It's like the only card that goes well with Fury. It's kind of hard to get a deck where Force of Negation and Fury are both good. I'm actually going to take the red 1-drop here and hope for the best. And if it's not open, we go in a different direction. It's not that bad. Okay. I guess this qualifies as let's go in another direction, because if I was really going to force the red deck, I would take Mishra's Factory, and I'm not sure that's what I want to be doing. Seething Song is pretty good with Fury, but not the best in general. I wonder what the best card is here. I might as well take the Troll. I think Troll, if you go red-black, a little bit of reanimation theme, just a lot of like removal discard spells. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Also, 2 good white cards. Yeah, okay, I'll try the Troll. This could be a challenging draft. I like Athari, next pack here. I like Noble Hierarch, obviously. But I think when there is a good red card, I want to continue down that path. Rada's Firebrand is a pretty good card. It's good early, it's decent late, forcing through damage. You can even pump it up. So while you'll play it in mono red every day of the week, having it in a 2-color deck is not bad either. Also keep in mind, the previous pack could have just been like bad, and that's why there wasn't any red cards. Like bad for me, at least. Triome is always awesome. I think I want to try and pursue this red path and see where it takes me. Okay, Bomat Courier is a good card. I missed it at first because it isn't red. Yeah, so we have Bomat Courier. So fifth pick, Bomat is not a sign. It could easily be like 2 pieces of power, 1 like very, very strong card, and like a blue fetch land or whatever. Like, it isn't a sign at all, but I think it's good enough to take here. Let's say I was trying to get away from the mono red plan, a card like Concealing Curtains, a decent card. Godless Shrine, like black white, is also a very good archetype. Let's see where this Bomat takes me. Okay, there are still red cards in the pack. Brea's Apprentice is an interesting card. I think it's pretty low powered. 3 power for 3 mana is decent among 2 bodies, but the grindy element of this card I haven't really enjoyed that much. I think the key when you're drafting red is taking the cheapest card possible. Let's say we have 2 like similar power level cards. We want to take the cheap one, as long as we're, getting enough creatures. The pack is not super exciting overall. Something to say is the Leyline's Binding. Leyline Binding is very good with Triomes in general, but yeah, that's not for us. Okay, bad surprise here. No red card. Huh. I wonder if Lotus Petal is worth it. Probably not. I think I'm going to go for this Ketria Triome. There are cards like Blue Power, Pest Infestation, Minsk and Boo, and stuff like that that's enabled by the Triome. So one more pack that's going to be fresh, and then we basically see if we're golden or not with the Rabid Battery. If the Rabid Battery comes all the way around, I think we're in great shape. But right now, that is to be determined, I would say. I'm not convinced, but I've also had experience with packs just not being that great. Okay, let's take the Oliphant. It helps with fixing down the line in case we need to play 2 colors. Let's say we have to play... Okay, Rapid Battery came around. I will definitely take that. Let's say we have to play blue-black. No, not blue-black. Red-black, obviously. Then these guys are going to help. A little bit of reanimation. Okay, we wield that one. Batterskull is, I mean, a threat to our deck, but we can't really take that into account. Fire Ice would have been decent, but if the Rapid Battery wasn't in the pack, that would have been terrible, right? So, okay. We first picked the Fury. We speculated on the Soulscar Mage. We hedged a little bit with the Troll and the Ketria Triome, and then we confirmed the Wheel of the mono red card. I think this is like a responsible way to end up in that deck, let me put it that way. Flametongue Kavu over Manamorphose. Manamorphose is good with Soulscar Mage, but that's really it, I think. Maybe the Flametongue will have more impact. I mean, if the deck is open, I'm going to have a lot of 4-drops most likely. Okay, perfect. We even wield the Factory. I forgot about that. Artifact card still in the pack. Combo card still in the pack. Okay. This can be great. Most likely I'm not playing Troll, but I'm gonna... Actually, let's keep the Ketria Charm in here so I think about it. This is mainly just how I sort the cards. If everything goes as planned, I can definitely deviate from having these cards down here, but it's just a good way to... it's a good way for me mentally to like, yeah, trying to figure out what I'm playing and what I'm not playing. The Shield Breaker is decent, right? 3 mana, kill an artifact, play a 2-1, you can split up the mana, you can play the 2-1 straight away. That's a decent card. I'm never going to be sad about registering that card. Obviously, the great cards, it's just going to be like one of my last 4 or 5 cards in the deck, right? Flametongue Kavu's kind of in the same tier. I hope to upgrade that with, you know, Hellrider, Raptor, stuff like that. Splash is open. Let's say we open Time Walker Ancestral Recall. Then we're set up as well as we can. Intuition, I don't care too much for. There is some kind of universe where I end up black-red or want to sideboard into this. Let's see. It's I mean, it's not like the best compilation of cards I have here, but identifying that red is open and having 2 more packs to just keep taking the best card from mono red is a good place to be. Let me put it that way. So obviously we can still, if we get help from, let's say, opening Power or opening / getting past Ragavan, Fable, Bolt, Chain Lightning, like obviously there are levels to the mono red deck. So just because it's open doesn't mean we get like lucky opens or get past like premier cards. Also, there might be some, let's say, blue-red control deck in the draft, and they want, oh, they want this Fable, oh, they want this Lightning Bolt, this Chain Lightning, whatever, right? So no guarantees, but we're at a good starting point for sure. That's the end of the first pack, and with that, yeah, thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to play a lot of fun Magic. I hope it shows that I'm having a good time while also trying my absolute hardest to win. Winning is fun, but not really guaranteed these days. The cards are so good, players are getting better, everybody has access to like good decks, good strategies. It's tough, but I definitely like it. Ah, that's a Mana Vault. Mana Vault, how good is that in my deck? Cardcasting Fury is awesome. What else? What else? Skull Clamp is good. So basically my plan is here to pick something that is not the experimental synthesizer, because I think I'm going to wield that card. Also, this pack has a Hull Breacher. That's pretty insane. Mana Vault. The thing is about Mana Vault, you want your curve to be as low as possible. I missed the Carry Zev. Oh, okay. Okay. New strategy. New strategy. I think I'm supposed to take either Carry Zev or Skull Clamp. Maybe the synthesizer isn't that great. Maybe this is where I take Skull Clamp and wheel Carry Zev. Because this pack is quite strong. Like, Animate Dead, Volcanic Island, Mana Vault, Atraxa, Hull Breacher, Hallowed Fountain, Reprieve. Yeah, I'm gonna wield both red cards, I think. Okay, let's take Skull Clamp and wield the Carry Zev. I love that. I missed that card. With Cube, it's like, if there's a card in the pack you miss, it can be super complicated. Oh, wow. Bowmasters. Ugh, Orcish Bowmasters. I don't... Well, I think I'm supposed to take that card and then wield a Hellrider. I have a Swamp Cycler, meaning that card like Badlands, Blood Crypt, stuff like that would be insane. I'll take the Bowmaster. It's too good of a card. There's even an argument I should have looked at Hull Breacher in the previous pack. Yeah, Bowmaster, wield the Hellrider. I mean, never gonna be sad about that. So there is a risk with this pick. There is a risk that I don't get the black fixing, so I have to play like one basic Swamp. Maybe that's not even enough to play it, and then I'll have some inconsistency, or I'll have to put it in the sideboard and not play it. However, I think the price to pay wasn't that high in that pack. I could have gone like Arid Mesa and not worry about the Bowmasters. I could have done that, but I think this is better. What do we have here? We have bad fixing versus Chandra. Bad fixing, what I mean by that is into the battlefield tap, but it just might be worth it at this point. I mean, I'm pretty confident I can wield the Chandra, except it's probably pretty solid in like blue-red. Okay, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna work for the Bowmasters. Blood Crypt or Badlands would be awesome, and this is where I wish I had better memory, because one of those lands could easily already be gone in the draft, right? And then maybe the other one isn't there, and that can be a problem. The good thing is, I'm kind of on a... I also want, like, Black-Red Triome, because I have a couple of Land Searchers for it. That would be pretty good pickup as well. So I can basically replace that Triome with the Restless Vents. Okay. Now this is interesting, because Fire Covenant is insane, but I don't think I'm in the market for that. And I can't justify that. I love Fiery Confluence, but I think I have to take the 1-drop. If there's a white drafter what happens if I take the Confluence? Let me do a count here. The thing is, the pack is super weak. Okay. I'll take the Figure of Destiny. I think you win. That's like your bread and butter, is like playing early creatures. Fiery Confluence is obviously an insane card, but it's less likely to finish the job if you don't have the early creatures, right? So, tough pick. Had it been, let's say, the opening pack, we would be more likely to take the chance and try and wield a figure. But a few picks in, I wasn't sure. It was a close one. Okay, so here it's either a 5-drop or some more fixing for the Bowmaster. I think this is a good time to take more fixing. Haunted Ridge is an untapped land from turn 3 onwards, which is not terrible. The more I think about it, the Animate Dead should have been a consideration. I can't remember what I took. Was that the Skull Clan pack? Maybe. Because I have double Land Cycler. But the thing is, if I don't get Badlands, then this doesn't even work with the Animate Dead. But it's pretty sick, right? It's two mana huge beater a lot of the time. But I mean, this is also fine. I'm gonna put the Ketria land here. I'm not playing it right now. Ooh, I actually love Vile Smasher. Huh, maybe it's reasonable card. It's that or Wasteland. But Vile Smasher, that's a lot of damage. It will put a bit more pressure on my black mana, but with me picking up another duel... Okay. Vile Smasher the Fierce. Whenever you cast your first spell each turn, choose an opponent at random. That would be my only opponent. This is a commander card. Vile Smasher the Fierce deals damage equal to that spell's mana value to that player or a planeswalker that player controls. So, what that means is you play this card, and then on your turn, let's say next turn, you play a Arc Trail. The opponent takes 2 damage from Vile Smasher. I play a Flame Tongue, they take 4 damage. And it also works on the opponent's turn, which can come in handy more than you think. Okay, so first glance, no cheap red cards here, but I really like the Porcelain Legionnaire in any aggro deck. 2 mana, 3 power, like good attacker thanks to First Strike. I like that a lot. Shadow Spear's decent, and it's gonna be great against me, but it is what it is. Yeah, just playing a creature like turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, that just wins so many games in Cube. So many Cube decks are based around, oh, I'm gonna fetch this Triome, then I'm gonna maybe play this Talisman out, and then maybe I'm gonna play a 4-drop. Like, a lot of bad stuff can happen in the meantime for those decks, and that's what we're trying to take advantage of with what is not mono red, but almost. Okay, I like Bone Crusher. Decent burn spell, decent body. The rest of the pack is all it's just a lot of serviceable card, like Torsten, good with Flash, Natural Order. Bayou, obviously a good dual land. Timeless Dragon is a great addition. I like that card. I've enjoyed it for white decks with splashes in particular. Saheeli for some artifact synergies, exploration. Yeah. Good pack in general. Happy to get a Bone Crusher Giant out of it. Now I'm excited to see if my cards wheel. If I got it right. Let's see. We did wheel. Wow, yeah, this pack was also pretty deep. I'm gonna take the Carry Zev here. I'm not huge on the synthesizer. It's fine. It'll make all red decks I play, I would say. All, well, aggro decks. Reprieve and Hallowed Fountain still in the pack. That's, yeah, it was just a great pack in general. Can't remember the other card. I think it was like Chandra in a few packs. Hull Rider is a good one as well. I picked Skull Clamp. No, that's not true. Maybe I picked a land and banked on wheeling the Hill Rider. There's the Hill Rider. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the deck is wide open. We just need to keep getting good cards for it. It would be awesome with, like, yeah, I guess Fury, Ragavan, Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning. They're like the best red cards I can get. Also, one of my personal favorite is the card Gut. That card just does so much damage. It's always love to draw that card. Gonna take the Copperline Gorge for basically Minsk and Boo. Let's say I open Minsk and Boo, then I can probably run it with just the lands I have right here. What else are we looking for? Swift Spear would be great. I can't remember what 1-drops are in the cube aside from that. Hearse is a good sideboard card. Sometimes you don't have a very good sideboard when you play red, but picking up a card like Unlicensed Hearse, Soul Guide Lantern, stuff like that is valuable. Nothing here. I'm not too scared of any of these cards. I am playing against the people I'm passing to. Like, I'm playing a pod here. So compared to a league, you can't really... Sometimes in the league, it's in your best interest that your next door neighbor has a great deck. Where here, you actually have to think a little bit about, oh, okay, I'm not gonna beat this person if... Like, I've hate-picked Atraxa and stuff like that before. Playing red. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Next pack here, Fourth Eolingus. That card is insane, but can we cast it? I don't think we can. We don't have the fixing for it, and we need, like, maybe we need too much. Maybe we just go, I pick the Swift Spear, I wield the Fire Blast, and I add those to my deck, and I'm happy. But that's, oof, that's an insane card, Fourth Eolingus. I'm gonna pass it here, and I'm gonna be pretty sad about it. Okay, let me just make up a scenario here. Let's say the Swift Spear wasn't here, I would take Fourth Eolingus and wield the Fire Blast. But since the pack already has 2 good cards for me, I'll go for that. Yeah, there's the Blood Crypt. I'm gonna take it over the Ferocidon. Most likely I'll wield the Ferocidon, but this is perfect because now Oliphant gets Blood Crypt, Troll gets Blood Crypt, and I have 2 other duels in my mana base, so that's 5 black sources to play Bowmaster and Vile Smasher. I think in a perfect world I get like 1 more fetch, or I might have to register 1 swamp, both of which would be... I mean, the fetch is preferable, but I think 1 swamp, that is acceptable, I would say. Also, if I wield the Fire Blast, it's a cool combo with the Vile Smasher. It's like 10 damage. That's a lot. Okay, just 1 card for my deck. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to make sense of how many playables do I need. So I have 23 in total. I'm gonna minus these 6 for lands. So that puts me at 17 playables, and I want to get to like something like 23 or whatever. So I need like a bit more than a handful. Let's say I was already like just a couple of cards close. Then I could think about hate picking like Flash or Toxic Deluge. I think it's good to just get the solid card for my deck. Okay, we continue the trend here of having packs with just 1 interesting card for us. I mean, we're not going to complain about that. It looks like we're not getting any, like, premier red card to finish off this draft. Actually, this deck doesn't have that much direct burn either, but I mean, sometimes it's just how the packs fall. Sometimes you get it all, sometimes you get half of it, sometimes you get nothing. So red, splashing, Bowmaster, and Vile Smasher. Huh. I've definitely seen worse. It's always tough to say whether the pod's decks are great in general or not that great. I've been in both situations. Okay, Reanimate and Necromancy. I mean, this is a pretty clear Reanimate, right? If I get one of my big guys, then I just have an insane beater. Perfect. I mean, yeah, Reanimate is a good one. I'm gonna take the red 1-drop. I quickly saw the Triome, which would be decent, but I mean, Dragon Swift Spear, Dragon Rage Channeler is awesome. Okay. Yeah, this is... Wow! Forget what I said. We did get a premier red card. Library of Alexandria here. It's sad to see. It's sad to see. I like that card, actually. I also like it a decent amount in red. But I think it's better to just get going. Honorable mention to the Blood Tithe Harvester. That card is definitely decent. Okay, first brick. Can't really complain about that. I think I'm supposed to hate pick either the Lifelinker or the 4 toughness creature. Yeah, let's hate pick the Lifelinker. So let's see, where am I at on playables? I did wield the Fire Blast, perfect. So I'm at 28 minus 6, that's 22. So 20... Okay. So I'm playing... If I just add lands now, I'm playing 15 lands. And 2 Cyclers. Which is, like, I could submit my deck right now. I'll take this Ferocidon and cut my weakest card, whatever that may be. Probably Flame Tenkavu. Yeah, this deck looks awesome. Just, like, low curve, great reach as well. Like some evasive creatures like Menace, pseudo unblockable, sometimes flying. What else can we say here? Some evasion there, some menace here. Some Hellrider forcing through damage with Fire Blast, Vile Smasher. Yeah, this is decent. And then the Bowmasters to hopefully disrupt some more broken, like draw 7 decks, etc. Yeah, this was a great draft. Even the cycle turn 1 reanimate thing, it could be huge. That could really be huge. I wonder if the mature decision is to play 1 swamp. Let's see what we do here. We probably get rid of the 2-drop that can like trade favorably, I would say. Is it good to get rid of factory to play 1 swamp? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black sources. That would make it 6. That's not an easy call. Okay, let's take the Mentor. That's the card that's most likely to make one of my opponent's decks. Wow. Am I playing Life Death? I have 2 guys. Well, I just might do that. So the good thing about the reanimate is it's always good, right? Even on your opponent's graveyard. Okay, I mean, I think it's correct to do it because the 1-2 punch of Cycler plus reanimation is just so strong. I have to cut a card now, which is a good position to be in. I'm just not sure which card it's supposed to be. Shallow Grave. Valakut. Yeah, those cards are not gonna make any decks this late. So let's see. I can go 14 lands with 2 cyclers. I think I want 1 more. Even though this deck stops at 3 mana, aside from Hellrider. It is very possible I should just go 14 lands, 2 cyclers, and then just go to town. Is either that or cut a spell, right? Okay. Pretty insane draft. There's going to be a bit of a waiting time here before I get to my build, so I'll let you guys know if I submit 14 lands or which spell I cut. And yeah, that does it for the draft portion. Remember, this is a single elimination tournament, so this could be 1 match that I'm out, or I keep going until I'm put down. Don't go anywhere. Okay, welcome back. This is round 1 of the 64-player Vintage Cube Draft. And I ended up cutting the Shield Breaker, the 2-drop that kills an artifact, and going with 15 lands alongside double Land Cycler. And yeah, look at this hand. It's a beauty. We have turn 1 Cycler, turn 2 Reanimate a Fatty, and other good stuff to do. We're on the draw here, so... And everything can happen in Vintage Cube Draft, but yeah, I like this hand. It's definitely what this deck is trying to do. Mountain, the draw for the turn. But what about this? I play turn 1 Figure of Destiny off Mountain, then turn 2 I go Cycle Reanimate. Yeah, I like that. I'm not exposing my Blood Crypt to Wasteland, which is like minor. I'm gonna be weak to discard spells anyway, so I might as well give my opponent a reason to like try and deal with the board rather than deal with my hand. Let's say they have the option between Fatal Push and Duress or whatever. What do I know? Swift Spear is a good one. This is funny, but I think I have to like go for the biggest upside play here. Let's attack first. Opponent takes 1 damage. I can cycle. I'm not sure I have anything else but basic mountain to get, but that's fine. I'll try and reanimate the Oliphant. If that fails, I have even death up my sleeve. My next turn I have... Okay, reprieve. Makes sense. Now, next turn I can go Swift Spear first, get some prowess triggers in when I try and reanimate the Oliphant. Oh, animate dead, that's... Okay, that's sick. Great play from the opponent here. What I can do here is I can Fury the Oliphant, and then I can reanimate it, which is funny. Fury pitch Fire Blast, probably. Yeah, that was a fun one. Counter my reanimation, then reanimate it with the animate dead that I passed during the draft. That's funny. Let's go Swift Spear. Huh. So now the question becomes, which red card do I pitch? I'd probably keep the Fire Blast, to be honest. I really like that card. And then... What's the worst that can happen here? Which card is going to help me win the most? It's tough. Next turn, I'm going to play Ferocidon. Or I can use that time to level up the Figure of Destiny. Okay, I'm going to try that. Yeah, tough decisions here. Great problem to have, but complicated to find the solution. So the funny thing is, if Fury gets Force-a-Willed, I can just do it all over. I wonder what's the best one. I guess it's... I'll life death back the Oliphant, and then I can reanimate the Fury later. This is a lot of action for a red deck. I've never had this amount of action in the first couple of turns before. Okay. So Oliphant is gone. So even though I'm giving up info here, I want to use my mana, I think. So I go Death, that card, Prowess, get in for 3. Lots of game actions here within a couple of turns. Let's hope my opponent doesn't have the Necromancy. Godless Shrine takes the damage. Fatal pushes the Figure of Destiny. That does save damage down the line. So now I have most creatures and planeswalkers covered with the reanimate. Okay, that's annoying. That is annoying. Rapid Battery is a good one. So I think maybe the Fury will be good to reanimate. Yeah, then I can... this is brutal, actually. So, reanimate the Fury. Kill off the Teferi. Mountain Cycle. Play Rabbit Battery. Equip that to the Fury. Oh my god, what a draw. This draw was absurd. So I played through a counterspell, a reanimate on my big creature, a fatal push, and a Teferi, and I just killed my opponent turn 4. What a draw. Turn 4 kill through 4 interactive stuff. Wow, that's insanity. That was just perfection. What a draw. Okay, so I play against Esper Control, most likely. Do I have any crappy cards against that deck? I'm looking at the sideboard. I'm looking at Molten Collapse. They did show some kind of reanimation package, so maybe having a hard removal is decent. What's the weakest card of my deck? There's something to be said about that Fire Blast finishing off the opponent. I don't think I'm gonna get away with that too often. Hard removal in, what goes out? Cutting the Fire Blast could be just straight up wrong, but then I'm looking at cutting my least impactful card. I'm not sure I like that either. I'm gonna cut the Fire Blast, but I really don't know. That's a tough one. Okay, I'm gonna try it. There's also something to be said about cutting a land while on the draw. It's not my favorite thing to do, but I think you can get away with it. The Fire Blast can sometimes just be the best spell in the deck, but it can also be the worst. So it's basically a card in my opening hand that is potentially not the best, whereas all the other cards in the deck are pretty good. I do want to draw the Fire Blast throughout the game, though. Tough to say. Pretty scary that the land cyclers can backfire against Animate Dead. That's not my favorite part. Oh my goodness, that was just imagine it was the troll, and I couldn't kill the troll with the fury. Then the game would have been a mess. But since it was the 4-power creature, I could just keep doing my thing there. Fury with reanimation, drawing the rabid battery for the haste. It's not fair. Okay, so great curve here. We have the Swift Spear and the Twin Parizev reanimation card that could end up like being a mulligan in the lifespan of this game. And then Lelia when we hit the third land. I like this a lot. Marshflat Pass. Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so in a vacuum, if playing against the goldfish, playing a troll turn 2 is better. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to put my opponent under pressure. It's interesting that the counterspell plus reanimation is something that just beats me straight up. So I have to weigh that versus just the power level of that card on turn 2 versus like playing small ball. Do I go for Blood Crypt or Basic? Play Figure of Destiny, which isn't great with Swamp. Yeah, let's just go for the Crypt. I go Blood Crypt, shock myself, try and reanimate the Troll. If that works, great. My opponent is under severe pressure. If it doesn't, I just go back to my mono red plan. Skull Clamp the draw for the turn. Death targeting the Troll. It's actually a terrible name for a card, but I guess these split cards always have like simple names. Going in with the tank here. What am I going to pitch to Force of Will? How much am I going to win when I Spell Pierce Animate Dash you out of this game? All the different difficult questions in life. Troll enters. I'm at 12 life. That's not nothing. I took 10 damage here. That should have been part of my consideration with the Blood Crypt, actually, the life situation. I only thought about, like, Wasteland and Figure of Destiny. And then try to do something end of turn. So the first thought in my mind is, oh, okay, they have a Fatal Push. But realized this card was too big. But could be anything. Okay, there's Teferi. So I took 8 damage for not a lot. This turn, I'm gonna go definitely Swift Spear the Teferi Dead, and then I think Parry Zev is like the best use of my mana. Attack Teferi, just so I don't have to worry about it later, like, oh, can't respond, this and that. I put 2 creatures on the battlefield. Teferi Bounce is a very clean answer for the troll. Very great for the opponent. Let's see what's going on here. Toxic? Okay, Toxic Deluge, the 2 monsters. Opponent missed land drop, which may or may not be relevant. I'm going to play my best creature, get Lelia going. Not going to play land, you know, if I hit a land, it's decent. I mean, I don't want to hit a land, but it's better this way. Play land, play Soul Scar. And actually, now that I have 6 lands, I can just play the Troll out as a threat. I didn't have that on my bingo card when this game started. Or when I drew it, rather. And then it's like, oh, in 5 turns, I'm going to recast it. I really thought it was just going to be like a dead card in my hand. Searching for a swamp I don't really need, etc. Yeah, the thing about Lelia is it's kind of a must-kill. Let's see if the opponent can succeed doing that. Because it's only a matter of time where I'm gonna like hit good cards. Okay, Leyline Binding gets rid of that card. Sure. Okay, so Lelia got in for some damage, not much else. Land is a horrible draw. Let's go Skull Clamp. Equip it. Play a land, attack for 3. Then next turn I can go Troll. Opponent found the 4th land. Let's see what else they can do with 3 mana. Elite Spellbinder. Now the troll is an 8-drop. Come on, deck. Hellrider. Fury. Reanimate. Reanimate. Reanimate is not terrible. I think I'm gonna go Parry Zev. Attack with Soul Scar. When it takes the damage, the Skull Clamp is pretty sweet. Parry Zev. Oh, I missed Prowess. Okay. Yeah, so in my mission to conceal information, I missed a Prowess trigger. Which is not nothing. If my opponent blocks, I think I like that scenario because that means I'm drawing 2 more cards. So, and if I reanimate, yeah, the thing is, if my opponent blocks when I just attack with the 2/1, then I can reanimate my opponent's Elite Spellbinder. It's a close one. Maybe it was fine, but it looked kind of silly the way it played out here. Voidwalker doesn't do anything. But if the opponent still has the Fatal Push, it does, so. There's also some kind of race going on here, since I'm at 10 life. The opponent is actually 1 damage off of having a 2-turn clock, so I kind of have to finish this game. Or I'm going to get tempoed out. Maybe because I found Blood Crypt instead of Swamp. Huh. That's not helpful. I'm just gonna attack here. My menace here makes it so that the Karizev is unblockable. Ragavan also gets in there. Ragavan is not unblockable, so Elite Spellbinder can trade with that card, but okay. The opponent takes 3 and I draw 2 cards. Maybe not. Fatal Push. Okay, so my read earlier was correct, but the Ragavan got in for, let's call it, unnecessary damage here. Oh, maybe it goes to exile, actually. Ah, Voidwalker. Okay, Voidwalker stops Skullclamp. Perfect. Didn't think about that. The problem. And I can't play Troll. Actually thought I had the mana for Troll this turn. Ooh. Okay, so this might be over. This is an 8-drop, right? Yeah, 8-drop. I'm gonna have 7. Okay. So Voidwalker, despite not being able to block, stops the Skullclamp. Scary. Voidwalker gets in there. Yeah, I could just be dead here. The opponent finds 1 more land, I die to the Cullinate plus Voidwalker. Brutal. That card. Destroy creature or planeswalker. Huh. Is that how I want to play? Or do I want to, like, present lethal card? Maybe I have to kill that thing. Kill the Voidwalker, or at least try to. I'm gonna play the land out despite it feeling terrible. It's for the reason that if I have another land on top of my deck, I can play Troll and equip it, which is not very exciting, but it's not nothing either. If the opponent finds a land, attacking with Cullinate twice will do it to me. 5 cards in hand. It's just unthinkable that I'm winning this game. Ferocidon. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play the Troll out, or try to. If this resolves, it's a miracle. Troll resolves. I have no idea what's going on. Let's see. Maybe it just gets killed. What is this? Baleful Mastery. Sure. Okay, so now the Cullinate. Yeah, now I need something crazy good. Like Rabid Battery or something to be in this game. Okay. Claim away the Legionnaire. Channeler with 3 card types is not gonna do it. And that'll do it. Okay. Huh, so we lost that game. I guess, yeah, Teferi was strong, Toxic was strong, a couple of removal spells. I kind of lost, I lost my guess, I guess, at some point drawing too many lands, but I mean, that happens. Okay, so I have to think a little bit about getting swept. But maybe that's okay between Skullclamp, Hasty Creatures, Direct Burn, stuff like that. Maybe that's okay. Yeah. Always tough. When you don't draw a good land spell land ratio out of the red deck, that's a way to lose. That's definitely a way to lose. Like when your opponent is picking apart your small synergy deck, like kill this 1-drop, kill that 2-drop, bounce your big thing you spend resources putting into play, and then your opponent's draw steps are just going to be better than yours at that point. So the longer the game goes, the less likely you are to win. I'm actually going to make this swap. I think that Animate Dead is just, let's say, randomly in the deck. And I think a card like Fire Blast can help me win fast on the play. There's also a chance I should play Factory over a Mountain. I'll try. Factory over a Mountain lets me have a little bit more durability in the face of like sweepers and stuff. Little bit of hedging against flooding, which is it's dangerous, right? Because I just lost the game to flooding. I could have easily just had an opening hand with Swamp, Mishra's Factory, and some red cards. And now I have to mulligan a hand I could have kept otherwise, right? So it's mainly because of the sweeper of Toxic Deluge that I like the Factory. Or something like Teferi bouncing my only threat, then I can just kill it with Factory already in play. Yeah, I think it's a decent card against a deck where durability and you having the ability to play a medium long game is relevant. The opponent might make a few adjustments for the ultimate game. Game 3 decides who marches on and who's eliminated early. It would be a shame to get eliminated with. I mean, I think this deck is great, but at the end of the day, we play one best of 3 in a singleton format, so anything can happen there, really. That's also the beauty of Cube, that you can defeat the best decks out there. There's the Factory plus Oliphant. I mean, that is a keep because of the Land Cycler. Then I cycle into some, get my mana going, and I have some 2-drops. Super reasonable hand. Opponent presses the mulligan button. I wonder which 2-drop is the best one for me to play. My opponent mulligans, I don't get the Robber online. Maybe it's the Karizev. That's interesting, because maybe this is the Legionnaire, because it's the only one that doesn't die to Fatal Push early. And that's a card I've seen. Let's go for Blood Crypt. Want to set myself up to draw the reanimation cards. Yeah, I think I talked myself into playing the Legionnaire out first. Also because it attacks well through one blocker, just like the Menace creature, so that isn't really an argument. Karizev getting Fatal Pushed is an argument. Also holding red cards for Fury could be something. Fury is actually not the best card against my opponent's deck, I imagine. Bomat Courier, the draw. That's also a card that's good to get going. So I'll think about that next turn. My best draw next turn is a land, so I can go Bomat plus 2-drop. Iridain, looking to hit land drops, looking for finding Toxic Deluge. One top, one bottom. No shock damage. Land. That's not a land, that's another 2-drop. Huh. So I'm gonna play the Karizev. It's 3 damage, just like the Firebrand, but if I get Toxic, they have to pay 2 more life. It's kind of minor, but probably a reasonable play. Yeah, if I get swept here, I think I'm in trouble. If my opponent is relying on like spud removal, counters, stuff like that, I've successfully like gotten under that. Teferi is acceptable. Yeah, the opponent should probably bounce the Karizev here, because if they don't, then I can just attack Teferi with Karizev and still get in for 2. Oh, okay. Interesting. That's not a land. Hmm. So what I could do here is Fury to get rid of the Teferi. Fury attack with Karizev and then continue working on my opponent's life total. I actually think I'm gonna do that. So let's pitch. I want to keep this Fire Blast. I think that card can reasonably finish off my opponent in this game. It's not out of the world. It's not out of the question to think about that. Maybe I get rid of the Firebrand. Also think that is a reasonable pitch. So Fury, the Teferi for 4. Also, now I'm kind of playing into Animate Dead. I just realized. Yeah, I'm really not sure. So let's get the Robber going. Opponent has now more cards in hand than me. Let's see what we're flipping over here. Mox would be insane. Unfortunately, I don't think the Robber can play. You can only cast. Yeah. If that card could hit lands, it would be so good. The opponent is playing pretty slow here. I'm thinking Solitude or Snuff Out, but who knows? Okay, Solitude it is. Getting rid of what? The Karizev, which was my attacker on Teferi. So Teferi stays out there. Opponent goes to 10. And I pass here. This turn is going to be a bit scary, I think. I didn't realize I was losing to Animate Dead when I Furied. Swamp is Swamp is a good card, but it's not a mountain, and this just smells like Toxic Deluge at instant speed. This smells so much of Toxic Deluge instant speed. If I play both of my creatures, which is like very strong to do, and my opponent has Toxic Deluge, I have a Factory and a Fire Blast with my opponent at 8. I really don't like that situation. Can I do some kind of sad hedge here? Maybe I can. There's also the argument that I'm flipping a card from my opponent's deck with Robber, which can help me. So maybe if I play the land first and just go to attacks. This is just a read that can either win or lose the game, I feel like. I just feel like this is Toxic Deluge. I can't really explain it. Well, I saw it in the previous games, but can't really. Trying to get rid of the Teferi, does that make sense? I'll try. So the island is available. Let's see what else I hit. I hit a Fatal Push, which is probably not going to do anything. Do I draw a card now? Okay, I draw a card. So the opponent is looking to let the Teferi stay in play. I mean, what if I go 2, 1, opponent's at 6. I also play the Bomat out, and I pass. I'm in a spot now where most spells are good, Mountain is good, and my opponent needs to deal with what's on board. Toxic for 1 means these guys are gone. Opponent's at 5. I can at least get in for 2. If I draw a land, I can get in for 4 and Fire Blast my opponent off the premises. This is a tough one. I think I'm highly favored, but I mean, I kind of looked like a fool the last turn. I didn't play out my hasters because I was scared of Toxic Deluge. And now my opponent actually has life to work with. So I tried to find a like middle ground scenario where I'm also in great shape, but I don't get blown out by Toxic. Time Twister. Yeah, my opponent needs something utterly broken to benefit from that Time Twister. This is actually some terrible cards that I drew into. That card is not terrible. That card is awesome. But I think I'm supposed to animate this factory. Attack here. Let's see if I get Fatal pushed. Okay. Yeah, that was a tough one. The opponent had great tools game 2, but overall, when you play like funky mana base, tap lands, shock lands, kind of expensive answers like Apparition, like the 4 mana removal that draws me a card if he plays it cheaper. My matchup is strong, right? I need to stomp a little bit, or they need to have super clutch draws in order to beat me. But yeah, I'm just happy I emerged from this. I think this deck is super strong, and but I could easily just you lose, you're out. That's the name of the game, right? But that didn't happen, and I'm thankful for that. So we get to play at least one more match. That would be the semifinals of the first draft pod. Remember, the winners of each of the 8 draft pods get to draft once more for the glory. But I mean, that's way down the line here. First of all, we focus on trying to get the next one. And yeah, thanks for watching so far, and see you for the next match. Okay, we're back for the semifinals of the first pod of the 64-player Vintage Cube Draft. We're on the draw here with a not very impressive hand. The thing is, if Fury is good against my opponent, this is an easy keep. In the dark, I'm not too sure. My opponent could be playing either green or white, I guess. I just eliminated the Esper control deck. I'll keep. If I draw land, this hand is totally serviceable. If I draw land Cycler, the hand becomes bonkers. If my opponent plays green or white, this card will buy back in case I miss tempo. Oh yeah. I mean, high variance hand, let me put it that way. That is not a land cycler. I thought it was at first with the kind of gray coloring on it. And it doesn't look like Fury is gonna... Okay, I'll take that back. It looks like Fury is gonna be great against that guy. Ooh, baby! Huh, how do you play Magic the Gathering? Maybe it's just Bowmaster that card and move on with my life. Fine. I'll play that. No days, please. Even if my opponent has a daze, I can get it back with Reanimate. Okay, so I drew the land within the 2 first draw steps, which is awesome. And that's part of the back and forth you have to do, whether it's a keep or draw, right? So we have... If my opponent plays some weenies, Fury is insane and can buy time. If I draw lands, perfect. If I draw land cycler, even more perfect. Prism? Okay. So the opponent could be looking to do some nasty things. Emery. Okay. Let's see what the opponent can mill over here. Yeah, I don't really want my opponent to play those cards, so I'm gonna try and kill Emery. Let's see what the best way to kill Emery is. Nice draw there. What's the best way to kill Emery? Could be reanimate the third path, then Arc Trail. Reanimate third path. This is like pretty good showcase of this card just being good in any black deck, basically. If you're able to either discard cards, kill a creature, or whatever, that card can do a lot of work. Let's see. Maybe it's Bone Crusher, actually. I think if I miss my land drop, I'll play Bone Crusher next turn. Stomp that card, get a 1/1. If I get countered here, I Fury. Okay, I don't. Get in for 2. Yeah, this really developed nicely. Have a lot of power in play. Just having so many bodies is also just insane with Hellrider in case I get to 4 mana. So the lesson here is keep a 1-laner on the draw. It's gonna work out just fine. No, but really it was pretty risky, right? Also, things lined up pretty well up until this point. So let's not get tinkered or something. Then things can change in a split second. Dak Faden. Opponent can take my 1/1, which is not the most powerful play in the business. But right now, I think they're just trying to stem the bleeding. Question is if the opponent has a counter. Let's see here. I could go. So if I go Arc Trail, not too sure how to do it. Maybe I just kill those 2 because I don't want to get in a situation where spot removal lets the Dak Faden live. Maybe I just play it like this. So theoretically, I'm losing out on a damage because I could have just attacked with Orc Army on Dak and went like 2 to the face and 1 to the soldier. But I just want to get rid of that card. The opponent counters. I think I'm back into Fury territory. Attack for 4, play Figure of Destiny that I just drew. Okay, so the opponent's the artifact deck in the pod. Nettle Cyst, Emery, those cards are cool. Also, this is probably my next door neighbor that I passed Mana Vault to. Rhea's Apprentice. Yeah. I'll just try and Fury here and play Hellrider. I mean, I have so many good tools this game. So even if this gets countered, I can just Hellrider attack with everything. It's a ton of damage. This draw is kind of unreal. Keeping a 1-lander. Still having my lands on time, and yeah. Brutal. Brutal stuff. Shock. Hellrider. Take a million damage, if not lethal. Yeah. Oof, what a draw. What a draw. Shieldbreaker is an obvious upgrade to something like, I don't know, Henra, maybe? What card am I gonna cut? Yeah, is it Kenra? Or is it a more expensive card? Opponent showed Emery. Opponent showed Iconoclast, so I like all of my removal. It's possible it's just Fire Blast. Okay, I can see that. Cutting Fire Blast, still keeping all my creatures. Okay, let's go. Now let's have the Cycler reanimation draw here. That would be awesome. I really like that it's 2 Cyclers, 2 Reanimators. It's like having Deceiver, Pestamite, Splinter and Kikijiki. It's not just, yeah, you have 2 of each, so it's kind of redundant. Or having, let's say, Through the Breach, Channel, Emrakul, Ulamog. It's similar, right? So there are more combinations that work. Okay, so this hand has Artifact Disruption even, some creatures, even some card draw if the game kind of stalls out and I need resources. Okay, a Shadow Spear. So I think I'm supposed to get Swift Spear going, and then kill the Shadow Spear and get a Prowess trigger. The risk of that is like my opponent getting mana to counter, but the Spear is only good with... Ooh, Emery. I was about to say the Spear is only good with creatures. Okay, so now I kind of have to kill the Emery. Deal 2, deal 1, attack for 2. So I can't let my opponent have a combat step with Shadow Spear. Okay. So play land. Kill off the Shadow Spear. And then I wonder what's my best play. What I can do is Vigor plus Skull Clamp. But I think what I'm supposed to do is play this 3/1 because it attacks through some small creatures. Like it lets both of my creatures attack through small creatures. They're ready. Draw some cards. Okay. This card is cool. From the yard, I think when it enters, you discard your hand and draw 3. Is that it? Okay. So I kind of want to get rid of that Duretti. It can get complicated if that card is roaming the streets. So that works now because now I have 5 prowess. I guess I tapped my wrong land there. Let's go Porcelain Legionnaire, Figure of Destiny, attack the Planeswalker dead. Okay. And then next turn, let's... Oh! Oh boy, that's embarrassing. I missed that interaction. I read this card the other day and was like, why is this in the cube? If you have a Planeswalker, you'll be fine. Type situation. Ugh, that was bad. Okay. So I gave myself a chance to lose this game here. Terrible. So let's see if we can bounce back from that mistake. Hellrider. That is a good card if you're looking to bounce back from a mistake. So I'm killing the ready here. What I could also do is... Can I kill both walkers? If I just attack with, let's say, Swift Spear on Chandra, then it's dead. The 2 others on... Yeah, okay. So I get rid of my opponent's walkers, but I lose a Hellrider. I think that's worth it. Chandra, the ready. Okay, so I mean, the next best thing you can do, aside from playing well, is trying to make the most of a situation after the mistake has been made. I think I'm supposed to do this. Huh. The opponent could have crewed with the Chandra counter there. But I guess it's the same, right? Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so now I have some creatures in the Skull Clamp versus a Naked Heart of Kirin. Assault Monolith and pass. Okay, so it looks like I kind of escaped the terrible play. Another attacker. Yeah, let's just get some damage in. And then I get 6 damage in, I play another creature, and then next turn, in case my opponent plays something big, I can start drawing cards with Skull Clamp. I'm trying to think about what red sweepers are in the cube. I can think of the delayed blast fireball or something along those lines, which would absolutely crush me. Other than that, I'm not sure. Let's see what this is. 2 mana. The Dragon Engine is 5 mana, sorry. So that would take up all my opponent's red mana and a Basalt Monolith. But it's a 2/2 double striker, right? Yeah, 2/2 double strike, which is decent here on defense. Pentad Prism, that works. Red, and here comes the... Oh, okay, dragon, sure. Okay, so Goldspan Dragon is a good one. What happens if I attack with everything here? If I, let's say, equip the Swift Spear, attack with everything, then I get in for a lot of damage. I think that should be a great play. I'm just trying to, like, finish off this game, basically. So the opponent can block 1. They take 6. Am I even supposed to clamp? How much direct damage have I got? I'm just pulling out the deck here. I have Arc Trail already in the yard, so that doesn't count. I have Bone Crusher, wins the game on the spot. I have Fire Blast, wins the game on the spot. I'm trying to think if I cut that card in sideboarding. So mainly, I would only clamp my creatures to draw into, like, more creatures. So I think I'm just supposed to pass here. Maybe actually this card is what I'm supposed to clamp, because if I draw lands, yeah, I'm supposed to clamp that card. Then I can play it back from the yard. So and I shouldn't have played my land out there. That was too quick. Okay. So Rabbit Battery. Rabbit Battery. Am I supposed to clamp away that card? If I clamp away that card, still have the troll to... No, yeah, the troll can get Blood Crypt. That's important. It doesn't look like the 1 damage is doing anything for me. Okay, I'll try and clamp away the battery. See what happens. Things got a bit complicated here. Okay, very good draw. Reanimate. So Reanimate wins on the spot if I get to attack with that Hellrider. So maybe the play is Reanimate Hellrider past the turn? Reanimate Hellrider. What if I just reanimate the Dragon Engine and take away my opponent's play next turn? Reanimate Dragon Engine. Then I have a 2/2 double striker. Wow, this is tough. What a great problem to have. Huh. Animate my opponent's dragon engine. So my opponent needs to beat me with the actual top card of their deck and not like have an ancestral recall in the bank. Okay, I'll try. So what I've learned from a legacy match a while back is I don't get the benefit of this because it doesn't enter from my graveyard, which is kind of a funny interaction. Okay, so now I have 3 attackers for next turn. My opponent only has 1 blocker right now, so they need to find 2 blockers in 1 draw. Or like some way to, go over the top of my attackers. Because of how I played, I didn't hit disgusting draws, GG's. Yeah, I can't say anything about that. I mean, this was a very, very insane display of how powerful this deck is. I'm not sure. Well, I didn't play it perfectly. I suicided a creature where I didn't have to, but I think I did a reasonable job getting back to normal, and then trying to make educated choices. I'm a bit sad that my logic for binning this card. I ended up in a situation where I actually didn't have the 6 mana available next turn unless I draw it. Um, but I guess I draw it if I don't draw lands, then I draw spells, and I'm probably winning, right? It was just I think I did a reasonable job. I obviously had great tools. And in the end, I kind of had to steer the ship to shore, and I got there. It wasn't pretty. Well, it was pretty, but it wasn't perfect. Okay. A win is a win. That means we get to play the next match for winning the pod, and if we win that one, we draft once again. So obviously, let's root for that to happen. More magic for you guys as well. Okay, don't go anywhere. Okay, here we are for round 3. That would be the pod finals of the 64-player Vintage Cube Draft. We're on the play here with a pretty medium hand for our deck's standards. I'll keep this hand. Deploy my tap land turn 1. There are some cases where I draw Orcish Bowmasters where I'm going to get heavily paid off, and I think just having the Skull Clamp up my sleeve is not a big difference from playing it out. But developing the tap land could be a big difference. This land on the surface wasn't a good draw, but it does let me activate this Restless Events some turns from now, in case I don't have anything better to do. Black Lotus, okay. That's scary no matter how you slice it. Bring to Light, I love what I'm seeing here. Bring to Light for 3 into Valky, God of Lies. Sick. So, ironically enough, if I draw a red card, I can Fury it off the table. I think I might have to do that in order to stay in this game. That's not a red card. Okay. Attacking it for 3 puts it to 4. It's unclear if I feel like my opponent's gonna active plus Valky once more. Huh. Yeah. Or Tybalt, rather. I was supposed to draw a red card there, kill off the Tybalt, and then kind of take it from there. Uh, okay. Yeah, let's clamp this away and get the red card. Okay, we got the red card. What do I want to have when the dust settles? You, yeah, Bone Crusher. I can play next turn and equip. Vile, maybe it's Vile Smasher. Maybe I have a lot of work to do here. So I need like the incidental damage from Vile Smasher. Yeah, this is not ideal, mainly because I've drawn so many lands. The opponent cracked a Lotus. Didn't get any value from that card. I pitched to Fury, so on the surface we're pretty even. But I'm guessing my opponent's hand is better than mine. Oh, you can even... Okay. You can even play those guys. Okay. I didn't even think about that. I thought actually the card had to be in play. Oof, this is terrible. We'll just go Vile Smasher and equip it. I'm ready to block. Yeah, this is gonna be... This is gonna be very tough. I need to draw a lot of spells in a row, I think, to be competitive. Opponent's on most likely 5-color good stuff, maybe with some kind of lands theme. When you play Deep-Root Wayfinder, in my experience, it usually has to do with Strip Mine. I guess some fetches and Urza's Saga can qualify as well. Opponent plays out my mountain, I think. There's the attack. I think I'm committed to blocking here. Really wanna... Oh. Okay. That card is gone. Which is annoying, don't get me wrong. Rabid Battery. Okay, it's not terrible. Let's see what I'm looking to do here. Am I looking to... Yeah, stay back with the Vile Smasher. What does this return it to play? Battlefield tap. Okay. So let's play the Rabid, deal 1 damage to my opponent. Animate this land. Attack for 3, get some looting going. Guess better than looting. No, worse, rather. Play land. Play the freshly drawn Bowman Courier. Get ready to filter away the mountain in my hand. Yeah, I mean, this is not ideal, but it's like a reasonable comeback situation. Questing Beast. Okay. The card is annoying. And another mountain. Wow, that's brutal. I think what I'm gonna do here is still go for the double suicide. It's so bad. Am I gonna battery anything? Does it make any sense at all? I don't think so. I'm gonna double suicide here. I have to stack it correctly. So, wait a minute. How do I stack this? What do I want to do? I guess I just put the card under the... That's totally fine. Then discard the mountain. Draw. I don't even know if I did it right. I'm trying to bluff a burn spell here on the questing beast, but in reality, my opponent's just gonna block the land and... Oh, wow. Oh, I forgot about Menace. Oh my goodness. So what I should have done was equip this with Rabid Battery. I totally forgot about Menace on this card. Huh. Yeah, now I look like a jerk. Yeah, that's not ideal. Dome my opponent here. Can I do any fancy equipping that makes sense? I can equip my Zev. Wow, yeah, this match. Hmm, this match kind of confused me. Field of the Dead, Bring to Light Valky. 5-color stuff. So if my opponent doesn't draw a Black Lotus, I should be in fine shape. Black Lotus really lets you play like big cards way, way, way ahead of schedule. Well, let's see here. After the last turn's Blunder, what do I feel about that card now? I think I'm going to still take the damage and hope to draw. I don't even know. Oh, is this a ninja? Love it. Great card. Huh. Okay, so Fallen Shinobi connects. My opponent has bad hits, which is funny. Uh, Reanimation. That's not reanimation. Showing my opponent for 1. Now I have... Okay, so I have some prowess here. Okay. Let's see, what's the name of the game here? I don't want to get hit by Shinobi next turn, but I don't care too much about anything else. What happens if I equip the Vile Smasher? No, this is fine. So I go attack with Zev and Bomat. If my Bomat gets blocked, I'm happy to trade it in for 2 cards. I would love if there's reanimation between that because I have Fury in my yard. This block is reasonable from the opponent. Gonna let the Bomat go. Arc Trail. Arc Trail lets me finish off Deep Root. 2 there, 1 there. See the top card. Roll doesn't do anything. Does it even help me here? I guess the sorcery makes it so that I have Delirium. The opponent's gonna attack with... I guess I equip over here. Okay, so I have to think here. Maybe it's actually the Vile Smasher. Oh no! Did I just mess up? I think I just messed up. Oh, this game is so complicated. The troll is 6 damage with Vile Smasher, which would have been almost certainly lethal. No, maybe not, because I would have to keep my... I would have to keep my Dragon Rage in order for that to happen. And maybe that was not going to happen. Ah! Okay. So, the reason for equipping here is probably bad. I'm probably supposed to not equip and just chump with the battery. Take 4, and then draw something, like, super sick. Okay, this game was too hard for me. That happens sometimes, right? Sometimes the game is too complicated. I think what I'm setting myself up to now is card like Fire Blast. Is Fire Blast lethal? I think it is. Except my opponent gets zombies. Huh. Do I win if I take the damage from Beast, chumps Shinobi, draws Reanimation for Fury? Probably. Ugh, what a game. This game, I'm definitely in over my head. I can't get hit by the ninja, I think. Yeah, Fire Blast should be lethal here. Is that lethal? I think I just accidentally hit lethal here. If my opponent can't deal with the fire. Okay, that's I don't deserve that. If I keep the if I keep the troll on top, chumps with the rabbit to buy the turn and then get in there with Channeler, I feel like I kind of deserve the game. But here it's just the deck bailing me out from not very good play, to be honest. Okay, so fast Valky. I mean, Molten Collapse is an answer to that card. I don't mind having that. But what am I cutting for it? Ideally, I don't want to get into this late game situation. So I think all cards that kind of help me close out the game are valuable here. Hmm. It's tough to cut Fury, but I'm actually thinking about it right now. If that deck mainly goes like big, and I'm looking to finish off the game before Hardcast Fury comes into the picture, that is a consideration. Molten Collapse. I mean, Molten Collapse is just like serviceable. Cutting Fury could be crazy. Let's say our opponent goes Burst of Paradise, that Druid or something. Then I'm gonna be super mad about that cut. Hmm. I don't know. It's tough. Cutting Fury seems insane. But I'm actually this is actually a hole in my game. I'm very bad at cutting, like finding what's the least, let's say, least important card in my deck. Like I'm scared if I cut like my worst 2-drop, that my deck is just gonna be worse. Maybe yeah. I can't cut a creature like my plan A of just playing creature, and I don't think cutting the Fury is good, but oof, I almost did it. Let's be honest, I almost did it. What a tough game to navigate. Huh. Turn 2. Yeah, I mean, this hand is like the bottom of my range of keeps, I would say. The mountain definitely, the swamp definitely helps. If swamp was part of my original hand, I would, I mean, be more happy to keep the hand. Because now I'm in a situation where I needed to draw a 5th mana source. That mana source needed to be black for the Bowmaster to not be just a straight up mulligan, which is not a good place to be, like hoping to draw your 5th land with a deck where the curve stops way before. I don't know. Now that I drew the swamp, I feel a lot better. Dream scenarios: opponent plays Lotus Cobra or like 2/1 blue flash guy on the end of my turn. I get to bow master down that card, maybe disrupt the card in my opponent's hand with Bowmaster. Then I deploy the Crusher, then I deploy the Hellrider. Okay. Black Lotus, pass. Great card. Yeah, that land could prove to be just too much. I really need to catch some catch a card here. Okay, so opponent makes a 3/3 and draws a card. I'll 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 bone. Wait, did I just mess up? No, I think I'm fine. I'll Bowmaster here. It's fine. Also, the opponent having a 3/3 that I can't kill with Bone Crusher. This could be a way to set up the Ninja, which is cool. Oko is a good one. Oko is indeed a good one. I think the way to beat Oko is let's see. Next time my opponent makes a 3/3. Yeah, I'll make this terrible trade here with Bone Crusher. Get rid of that card. Then next turn I can Hell Rider. Is that good? Probably not. Okay, my opponent having Oko is definitely another reason to consider the Molten Collapse. Huh, okay. Yeah, the opponent is looking to aggro me out of this game, which very well may work. I'm getting the Oko out of here with this attack, and then I have to be very lucky to win this game. I need to draw something like Fury. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, the opponent had an absurd draw here. That's just what happens. We go to game 3. Ooh. Tough times. Tough times. So I add that. Maybe I'm supposed to cut something like Arc Trail. That card doesn't seem to be the best. And then I keep all my creatures, and I get a little bit more removal. Actually, Flame Tongue looks decent here. Flame Tongue is good against the questing beasts and the oddities of the world. Maybe I can remove a low impact card like Rabbit Battery. Okay. Okay, so we've faced 2 Black Lotus draws, so I consider it a gift for us to even have this third game. With that in mind, turn 1 Bowmat, get that going. Turn 2 Legionnaire. If I draw Cycler at any point, the Reanimate is great. I mean, again, if this was a Swamp, I would be way more, well, or Black Source, I would be way more happy, but I think with 2, like, good creatures on curve against a deck that, I mean, plays 5 colors, could stumble from time to time. I think that's reasonable. Until now, it's looked like a lot of, beatable cards and Black Lotus in the deck. I hit this pause from the opponent. So normally I would think, oh, which tab land do I play turn 1? But here I'm thinking, what do I power out of my Lotus? Okay. We dodged a small bullet there. Oof, Swamp is terrible. Swamp is terrible. Sorry, Mountain is terrible. Swamp wouldn't be anything to write home about either. Okay, so the opponent has that hand, which is the dream for me, but can we capitalize? That's the question. Wow, another one. Right now I'm thinking next turn is where I pop the Bowmat. Oof. Opponent has 3 mana. Shocks. What does this mean? Shark Typhoon for 1, probably? If this is Hull Breacher, fine opponent. You got me. Okay. Typhoon for 1. Typhoon for 1. I'll let my opponent block here. So keep in mind, they don't know that my hand is terrible, so for them, this is a great play. Huh. Yeah, this isn't much better. I guess it is. It is a little better. Ooh, we can easily, despite my opponent having a terrible start, we can easily lose here. Passing the turn. Oh, we're getting ninja. Now I need to fade like a good ninja. Then I play the Flame Tongue Kavu and kill the Fallen Shinobi. And then I'm in great shape. Let's see. Okay, my opponent finds 2 creatures. Which is very annoying. Let's see if I can find something. I do find a Robber of the Rich. So I think my play here is attack with both Flame Tongue the Shinobi second main. The opponent will have to kind of have to respect that I can have a spell for my Swift Spear, so I expect my opponent to actually take 3 from the Legionnaire and block the Swift Spear, but let's see. Okay, jump block and trade. Okay, this is decent, right? The opponent did buy some time with Shinobi. First strike happens. Flame Tongue Kabu on the Shinobi, which is part of the reason I sideboarded it in. Then I have a Haster up my sleeve and some decent power on the table. Opponent has showed cards like Questing Beast and the other 4/4, the Oddity. Okay, Questing Beast is annoying because it attacks at the same time. So I go to... Huh. Yeah, I should just block here, right? Because otherwise my opponent is just going to block and I took 4 damage for no reason. Ferocodon is cool. Robber, attack and trigger. Opponent's at 2. Let's see what we flip here. Urborg. That's not going to help. I'm going to play my land and play the Ferocodon. So no life gain for the opponent. That's important to think about here. The opponent kind of needs... Well, they do need 3 blockers or a way to deal with 3 creatures. Narset, 1 floating. Not quite sure what the opponent can hit here aside from the card balance. Okay. Cancel that. Black Lotus. Okay, opponent has nothing. Wow. Ugh. I need to get, like, some fresh air, glass of water. I didn't play my best this match. So much stuff going on. Some minor details that could easily have cost me the game. Phew. The opponent's deck was super scary, but also, when they don't have Lotus, kind of clunky. Bounce lands, even some pain from Horizon Canopy. Tri-lands getting into play tapped while getting attacked by hasters. I was lucky here because I drew crappers for some turns, so if the opponent kills this Bomat, I'm just out of that game. Whew. Okay, we prevailed the first draft pot. We were lucky to be the 1 player going 3-0. That means we get to play against the 7 other 3-0s in a finals pot, and that'll be in the next video from my hand. All that's left for me to do today is just say thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to play more Magic on the channel, and I can't wait for you to join me. Until next time, yeah, take care.